So I was thinking about this whole apprenticeship business and some of the arguments the bros were talking about. I found it interesting because the arguments made are not new. And the beauty of medicine is the fact that it is an ancient practice. I have this habit of reading Stoic philosophers from Rome, right? And I came to one, I think recently, I didn't know about. This guy was Musonius Rufus, was apparently a philosopher in Rome in I think 1st AD during the time of Nero. And this is what Musonius Rufus had to say. In one of his lectures, someone was asking him which was more effective, training or practice. Training was what we know traditional medicine to be, and the practice was in the form of an apprenticeship. So he made the argument that if one were sick, and they met a physician who could speak highly of medicine, the theory, the human body is made up of so and so system, this enzyme does this and this receptor does this, and you met another physician who, though not as knowledgeable as the previous one, could tell you, okay, you have some chest pain, okay, you have some tummy pain, I just need to add this herb and this herb, I give it to you and then you are fine. He does it and you are fine. Who would you be much interested in receiving their service? You'd go with the one that could actually heal you, not the one that can just talk about it, that is just knowledgeable about the theory. He then further made the point that, let's say you want to go on the sea. You meet this guy, he can wax lyrical about every little wave you will meet on the ocean, all the currents and everything. But he himself has never taken a boat from one coast to the other. Then you meet this Don, he cannot tell you about all the waves, this current does this is why A, B, and C. He can't tell you any of that, but he can damn sure take you from coast A to coast B safely. And he has been doing this for over 5 years. Who would you trust with your life if you wanted to travel? You'd go with the one who was actually doing it in reality. Then he made another point. You have a child, you want him or her to learn music. Teacher A has never actually played the piano before, but he understands musical theory, the different scales, whatever you want to call them. Big boy knows everything. But mind you, he has never written a piece himself. Then you have this Donnie here. He knows nothing about musical theory. He just knows do, re, mi, fa, so, do, 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 do. He can make music. Who would you prefer to instruct your child? So Musonius Rufus then said, given all this evidence, how then can one argue that training is better than practice? But this was the key. He says there is no way one can practice effectively if what they are practicing is not in accordance with the proper training. That means even that physician that apparently is not able to wax lyrical about the theory of medicine, the heart, the different organs, but is able to actually practice it safely and heal people, he's only able to do so because what he's doing is in line with those theories. Therefore, it is important to know the theories before you practice. When it comes down to effectiveness, the practice surpasses the training, which I found interesting because I think that's what some of the bros were saying. So let's come a bit closer to our time, 1880, 1850. There was this Donny that was roaming about who became chair of the Royal College of Physicians and also became the president of the BMA, if I'm not mistaken. I think his name was Robert Christensen. In the past, if you wanted properly well-educated doctors, you find them in Scotland, and every major establishment you would go, you would know physician that had been trained in the medical school of Edinburgh chairing them. They were the big dons running about. This Don, when he was doing his graduation address, he says, after all that has been said and what indeed yourself know from your own observation, of late a party have risen comprising men of great weight in medical politics who deny the fitness and superiority of professional training for teaching the profession of medicine and cry up the advantages of tutorial instructions, that is by apprenticeship and other similar methods. He didn't see apprenticeships were bad totally, but how they were designed. I am far from maintaining that apprenticeship, or rather tutorial teaching under a private practitioner or medical officer of a dispensary or a county hospital is bad instruction if taken at the right time under an instructor able, willing, and zealous. But few such tutors are able and willing and zealous for a simple reason that they seldom have any adequate object in view as a stimulus to make them so. Besides, this method of tuition is usually and in the form of apprenticeship too often begun at the wrong end, before, instead of after the student has cultivated the fundamental medical sciences. Education may be first rate under an able practitioner who can furnish proper opportunities provided the student be first duly trained to use them by professional teaching. The points the bros are making today are no different than was made in the 19th century. Nevertheless, it is my fortune to hear annually in London on the occasion of the meetings of the General Medical Council, men of professional mark insisting that there is no better way to commence medical education than by apprenticeship. And I must add, the delusion has a suspicious look of something worse when I find it coupled, as it often is, with fondness of running down the rival method of professional teaching and with attempts to abridge greatly that mode of education. So it's quite interesting. So let's see how things develop. If our bros from another mother will be able to learn medicine via an apprenticeship without the initial professional training. It's your boy Yoti, and I'm out. Salute.